Ladies and gentlemen, our grand finale here at the India Today Mumbai Conclave is someone who over the last quarter of a century has been one of our most enduring as well as one of the most accomplished actors in Hindi cinema. Please give a big hand to Rani Mukerji and give her an even bigger hand because she's just back here from winning the National Award for the Best Actress for 2024-25 for Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway. So please welcome Rani Mukerji.
Thank you, Rajdeep.
Okay, let's relive a moment before we start into any other kind of question. I'm just going to play these images that you're seeing on the screen behind you from just a couple of days ago, with the president, with Mohan Lal, with Vikram Masi and Shah Rukh Khan. Tell us what this moment meant for you. After a career that began in 1996, 2025, winning that first national award, what does it mean for you?
I think the award means so much happiness for my fans, for my well-wishers, for my friends and family who have wished this award in my life. Because, as you know, I'm winning this for the first time. I have actually been like a horse with blinkers. My single-minded focus has always been to work hard, do the best in my craft, not to disappoint my audiences, because a success of a film is really not in our hands. We do the best for the film, and then it's the audience's choice that they like a film, they don't like a film. But what's in my hand is to do the best that I can deliver. And that's what I've done for the last 30 years. And it feels special because probably Shah Rukh and I won at the same year, at the same time. So it just made it even more special and sweeter.
Kuch hota hai, right? I mean,
Actually, abhi bahut kuch ho gaya.
Acha, bahut kuch ho gaya. But to see you and Shah Rukh win,
yes,
in a way suggests that they also serve those who stand and wait.
Absolutely.
That it isn't something that happens first day, first show, debut film.
Yes.
Did you ever think that it would never happen in your life in that sense? Was it a surprise?
See, for me, I've always believed in Shraddha and Saburi, which is faith and patience. And that is what I have always kept with me as a constant in my life. And whatever I get, I'm very grateful and thankful for it. Whatever I don't, I'm also grateful and thankful for it.
Because, you know, I'm playing this, you see this image?
Yes.
I mean, is that how young you once were?
I'm younger now.
You're younger now. What's your first thought when you see that image of you, Kajol, and Shah Rukh from the promotionals of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai?
I think, thank God, this film happened. And of course, I'm eternally grateful to Karan for have chosen me as his Tina. And that is one character that has stuck to me in my career for 3 decades now. And to have people comment on Shah Rukh and me winning the award saying that it's Rahul and Tina for us. So it makes me actually think that they've loved those characters so much that we've actually not yet left their minds with those characters. And I think that's very, very sweet.
And I want to tell you this, that when the announcement was made that you're winning the National Award as Best Actress, and on the line before me on the teleprompter was her first National Award. And I asked my producer, are you sure? Didn't she win it for Black? I mean, there have been very few performances quite as magical as what you showed in Black. I use that as a reference because I'm sure that's a film again which was very dear to your heart, and you were with the great Bachchan. And you held your own with Amitabh Bachchan. Not easy for someone to do early on in your career. Is that still a role that you cherish?
Absolutely. I think I gave it my all in Black. And I was all of 25 that time when I did Black. And when obviously there was a chatter that I would win, and when I didn't win, that's when my blinkers came on. And I was like, okay, even when you do your best work, it might not be in your favor. That was according to me, of course, and I could be absolutely wrong. But I think my blinkers came on that time, and I was like, don't be too disappointed. Keep working hard. Maybe you need to do better. And I kept doing that.
In all these...
But I have to be honest and tell you that my dad was very disappointed. My Baba, he was very heartbroken that I didn't win in that year. And so was Sanjay, who was the director of the film. But I guess when things are meant to happen, they happen. And I think today when I walked up on stage and took the award after 30 years in my career, I think the way India and my fans cheered for me, I don't think it could have been sweeter and better than that.
Did you think about your dad at that moment?
Absolutely.
When you won?
Absolutely. For me, the day I received the news of the national award, I was actually in the room that he had passed. And I was doing a puja. And he was on my mind very strongly on that day. And I finished the puja and I sat on the chair and my mum was with me. And the news came on the phone that I won the national award. And I just told my mum that, Mum, I won the national award. And she was in disbelief. I said, Mom, I won the national award. And she started howling. And because she was also feeling Dad's presence that day. And it was just too beautiful a moment because Dad was with me throughout that day. And the news of the national award, as if Dad made it happen. So yes, I did miss my dad.
You know, because you've truly been right from the very beginning part of a film world. Cousin Kajol, herself the daughter of Tanuja, your father producing films. You're married now to arguably the most, some call him the most powerful man, by the way, in Hindi cinema. Is he?
You'll have to ask him.
No, but I mean, the fact is, therefore, for you, is this the culmination?
See, there's always a very strong woman behind a powerful man.
You want to tell us how, how do you sort of run Aditya's life?
Yes, I give him really good Punjabi food at home.
I see.
So his meals are really, really healthy. And he gets everything that he wants at home. So I'll get his burger done, I'll get his pizzas done, his pastas, his biryani, his everything that he loves. Because for him, love is about food. You know, he's a Punjabi man.
But you know, I've lived more than 3 decades of my life with a Bengali woman as a wife. They're not easy to handle.
You'll have to ask him.
Are you an easy person for poor Aditya to handle or not?
I think that's a great question for my husband to answer. And I'm so lucky that he's not here to answer that question. And nobody will ever know that.
But, you know, the national award in that sense is a culmination of a journey then. As I said, that started in 1996. Is that how you've seen it? Have you moved? Every film is an adventure for you. Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway was not an easy film to do. Do you sort of look at this as a culmination also of a body of work that you've put together now over almost 3 decades?
You know, honestly, I would like to see it as an eternity. Because it keeps going. I wouldn't like to say a full stop because I have lots more things to do, many national awards to win. Maybe this is just the start.
You know, one of my favorite films of Rani Mukerji is what I'm going to play a show at the moment. It was in many ways an iconic film. It actually sort of brought out what was happening in society around us, which was the rise of the small town.
Bunty Bubbly.
Yeah, Bunty Bubbly. Very good. That was not a quiz question, but you know, it happened around the same time as Mahendra Singh Dhoni emerging at the top of Indian cinema, this boy from Ranchi, and the film really struck a chord. Chote chote shehron se log aate hain.
Yes.
Is this also one of your favorite films? And what was the experience like first, working with Bachchan in Black, and then working with the son in Bunty and Bubbly? Who was the easier person to work with?
Mr. Bachchan, of course. Abhishek is very naughty. No, but
Working
I
with
would say,
Amitabh Bachchan didn't intimidate you.
I think Mr. Bachchan comes with so much of grace, with so much of humility on set, and he makes the atmosphere so wonderful for his co-actors that, of course, you are intimidated to know who he is as an actor, but he just gives you so much freedom and space to be yourself that it's his greatness, you know, because he is the great Mr. Bachchan, and he really makes it very comfortable for his co-stars.
And what was Abhishek like?
Abhishek is like a child. He's always, having fun and laughing. And I think because he and me are very, I would say, close in age, it's more of a equal relationship in that sense. So a lot of times he would get firing from me also to be well behaved, because for him it's always fun. But yeah, Abhishek, working with Abhishek is also very easy because he's a very easy person to work with. And we've done some great work together as well. Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, Bunty Aur Bubbly. We also did Laga Chunri Mein Daag. So yeah, so there have been films that we've worked together, and we've had a really, really wonderful time.
This was quite a multi-starrer that you did.
Yes, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna.
For an actor, is that easier or more difficult when you work in a multi-starrer or when you're the central focus? It's a like Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway was, which is essentially the focus was in a way on your character. Which is easier for an actor?
I think for an actor, it's very important to focus on your own character. It doesn't matter whether it's the central character or it's the only focal, like main character. I think what's important is, what I always say is that nothing is bigger than the story of a film. Not even we actors. We as actors just come and we give life to those characters. And we have to do justice to those characters, and we have to be aware as to what we are doing with those characters. So it's very important to believe in the film, believe in the story, also be very content with the character that you're playing. So then it doesn't matter if it's an ensemble or it's just you in the film.
You know what I want to turn now to a film which has a link in a way with Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway, real life stories, and you did No One Killed Jessica.
Yes.
Which was a film for many of us in the media was also an important film to put out there, because it was a story that was told on the media, and then you brought the character to life. You and Vidya Balan doesn't get better than that, just in terms of acting power on screen. Tell us what this film was like.
This film was again amazing because it was a very, very important topic. A very important film and the story that needed to be told. And I always feel that when you bring any story in cinema, it has to also be enjoyable to see, because you're making a film. So you need an audience to also enjoy the story. So I think what was really lovely about No One Killed Jessica is that with the content, I think it also was a very interesting watch. Especially because of Meera's character, because I was playing a journalist for the first time. And strangely enough, there was a way that people looked at journalist characters on screen. It would normally be with a jhola, kurta and a jeans and a jhola. And I was absolutely against it. And I was like, no, I need to show Meera Geti feisty, and she should be in jeans. She should just be normally dressed. And that's the way I have met journalists. And I don't see, and I feel everybody on television are so well dressed and so well put together. So I wanted to bring that in Meera Geti's character. And that was one thing that I thought was very aspiring at that time, which we got through Meera's character. Especially the way she looks and the way she is. And she's just non-apologetic. She's just not apologetic about who she is, And I think that was great about the character. She spoke her mind. She spoke the way she did, especially the scene in the aircraft. When somebody asks her about the war, and she just gives a befitting reply to the person. So I think there were a lot of these things in Jessica, like, one of the scenes where I'm doing yoga, because, when you are in a newsroom and when you are, talking about the topical topics, people don't get time to, look after themselves. So I wanted to bring that aspect to show that, journalists don't get time. And even if they have to look after themselves, they're doing yoga in the studio. And if there's like an important thing that comes up, they just will finish that and just get ready and, go on air. So there were a lot of things that we put in the film, which I think people saw for the very first time. Those were all our things that we had seen happening, behind the scenes in a studio, in a new studio. And I think those were very interesting things that the audience got to see, apart from the story, which was also very, very important.
It's interesting that the way you're putting it, Jholawala journalists, by the way, still exist.
Yeah, but it's not just the only characterization of a journalist.
No, absolutely.
So it was important to show that there are other journalists also who exist.
But sure, but what I found in your answer interesting, it's almost as if you were giving your inputs to the character. Yes. Is Rani Mukerji in that sense someone who's a director's actor, follows what the director says? Or do you like to put your own perceptions of a character into the way you play it? And the same thing goes for Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway, which is again based on a real life story.
Yes, so I think as an actor, when I read a character, and if I feel that as a person, whatever observations I've had as an actor, because in our daily life, we do observe a lot of things. We do observe nuances. We might pick up a nuance here or there, or we may pick up a character that I've seen and I would like to, imbibe that in one of my roles. And that's the discussion that I have with my directors and the inputs that you have to, to enhance what the writer's already written or the director's already thought of. And I think that's what makes a film, because it's just not a one-way street, A film is an amalgamation of, say, 100 people coming together and making that one film. So there could be an input from a music director, there could be input from, say, an editor, So filmmaking is all about, all the important technicians, head of all the people coming together and, giving their best. A director of photography could come and, give an input about how he would like to light up a particular scene. So it's always like I would say, an improvisation that keeps happening, and that's what finally an audience gets to see.
How do you then choose a film? When you chose Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway, how did you choose that film?
So first I'll tell you about Mrs. Chatterjee, what input I had within the character, which is your previous question. I actually modeled it on my mum.
Really?
Because, yes, so that's the closest I could know a Bengali woman who's from Calcutta, born and brought up in Calcutta, because I'm a Provashi Bengali.
Yes.
I have lived my life in Mumbai and I've grown up. So the only person who I could think of was my mum, and I modeled Devika's character as to exactly what my mum would be and how she was, And when I grew up, that's what I saw and how my mom raised me, and I completely, got my mom in my head and I played the character of Devika like my mom.
But how do you decide on a film now? Now you're at a stage in your career where you can choose, right? You're not going to choose a film unless you are convinced about it, presumably. You wouldn't choose a film, will it become a box office hit? Or are you choosing a film, can this film take my evolution as an actor to the next level? How do you choose it?
I think I'm not as selfish as that I'm only thinking about myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I thought actors were very, very selfish.
Of course, and it's good that you all have that understanding of actors. But see, we always have to also burst myths, right? So I would like to be one of them, that I would like to burst your myth. But nevertheless, what I would like to bring about as an actor with each film is also when I hear a story and I feel that maybe this is a story that needs to be told. And I would get interested in that. Now, whether that is going to help me, evolve me as an actor, that's a secondary thing. First, I have to make sure that the film is made well, I'm doing my part well, and the evolution of an actor is for all the critics to decide that whether I did a good job or no.
Since you spoke about myths,
Yeah.
one of those myths was a long time ago, this is very long ago, that one,
Yes, Rajdeep, we've known each other for a long time.
okay, no. She, Rani came to our studio about 25 years ago when she was doing some film. And I, said, welcome to the studio. She was very, very quiet because I think Shah Rukh had also come and Shah Rukh had predictably taken over the studio. But I just want to bust another myth in a way, which is that a long time ago, people thought once you get married as an actor, once you have a child,
Yes.
then cinema no longer seems to matter, or in a male-dominated industry, the actor will have to follow certain rules set by the men. Has that all completely changed now? That Rani Mukerji now, mother, actor, wife, can...
I've buzzed the myth already.
You've already bust that myth. Is that now the way Bollywood is? I see more and more of you, of actors who are able now to do what perhaps your predecessors couldn't do 40, 50 years ago.
No, I don't agree with that. I think we have actresses like Dimple Kapadia, Hema Malini, Sharmila Tagore. They all worked after having a family, after having their children. So
Sharmila was one of the first ones who broke the wall.
Absolutely. So I think we have great people or predecessors from where we've taken inspiration from. So I think it's each to his own. I think what are your priorities as a person? I think that becomes very important when you get married. What is it that you want to do with your life? I think that's a single most decision that a woman takes, and I feel no woman should be pressurized to do something that a society is expecting her to do. I think if you want to work after marriage, it's your choice. Yes, it's great if your family kind of gives you the wings to basically be the air beneath their wings, or they are the kinds who would say, no, sit down. But I think most importantly, every woman has a right to do what she wants to do. If she wants to be a homemaker, great. Because I think being a homemaker is also one of the most difficult things for a person to do. It's not easy to be a homemaker because she has to do a lot of things. I think even more tough than what women do when they're going out to work. So I think if a woman chooses to do that plus this together, I think that's great.
Because when you were collecting that national award, there was a piece of your young daughter Adira with you, right?
Yes, yes.
There was a gold chain with her name there.
Yes, yes.
That was your way of telling thanks to your daughter. Maybe she's the lucky charm as well.
Absolutely.
And
she was howling.
She was also howling.
She was howling because she wanted to be part of the National Award function. And we were told that children under 14 are not allowed. And I had to tell her that, you can't be with me. And she was like, Mama, it's so unfair because I'm the happiest for you that you won this award. And she said that, Mama, I also made a painting for you when you won.
Wow.
And it's so unfair that I can't be with you on your special day. And I said, you don't worry, I will have you with me on this special day. And that was my way of having her with me.
Have you had a family?
Like, in fact, I want to thank
some family.
No, actually, I actually want to take opportunity of this platform and tell all the people who made, those reels or those snippets on social media or on Instagram, where they said that Rani carried her daughter, because those were the things that I sent her and she became calm. So thanks to all of them who actually saw that and,
You're an Instagrammer?
No.
You're not?
I'm not on social media.
Why? Is that out of clear choice?
Clear choice, because my husband doesn't want to be seen. And I don't want to be in trouble with my fans if they ask me that, where's your husband's picture? And I don't want to say that he's Mr. India.
You're not the kind who's going to ring up the paparazzi and say, Adi and I are going for dinner to this particular restaurant.
Oh my God, not at all. Oh my God, not at all. Not at all.
But he really is hugely private. I mean,
so am I.
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Can you afford to be private?
No, as much as I can.
Can an actor afford to be off social media, Instagram, not do the reels?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I'm doing that very much. And also the fact that I've not put my daughter out there. Because I think that was also supposed to be...
You don't want her to be photographed out there by the media?
Till the time she's, I think, 14 or 16, when she chooses to do what she wants to do. But till the time I can protect her, I would like to do that.
Very interesting. Strong woman with very, very strong ideas about the world and yet remarkably successful. At this moment, I'm going to bring a special guest because what you've done among the various myths you've broken is there's a belief that only men can drive franchises, that you can have all these sequels only done by these strong men. But you've done Mardangi 1, 2, and now Mardaani is going to be number 3.
Yes.
So Mardaani 3 is you once again playing that tough cop. And we are very privileged at this moment to be joined by one of the toughest women cops that I have known and most of you have known. Madam Commissioner is her book and how she's been known. Please welcome Meeran Chadha Borwankar on the stage. Come on in, ma'am. Okay, Rani, you want to take over. Since you've been a journalist,
Yes.
or you played the role of a journalist,
Yes.
and you want to know what a real life cop is all about, right? Having now gone into the third part of this franchise, what's your first question to Mr. Borwankar?
So I'd like to tell you that I've known her since Mardaani 1. She was one of the ladies who really helped me through the research work of Mardaani 1. So yes, I've known her since then. And you should actually ask her questions of Mardaani 1 and 2.
I should be the...
Of course.
I thought you are the one who wanted to ask Ms. Borwankar. Okay, let me ask her the question.
Okay.
Have you managed to see the film?
Yeah,
Ma'am?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Is she really an authentic cop in your view? Or is she simply play acting the role of cop? Can you see Rani Mukerji as Madam Commissioner?
Yeah, she played it very well, except that the kind of physical altercation and the conflicts and the physical part of that movie, Mardaani 1, was not what most women officers do in life, but rest of it, the way she portrayed the character, and I'm sure she would also end up doing it in Mardaani 3, is very real, and I hope that it will motivate more women to join police.
What is it that makes you know, again, in the police force, there are all too few women cops. That's changing now. But when you were there, presumably very male-dominated. Is it tough for a woman cop to establish her own identity in a very male-dominated world, ma'am?
See, I belong to 1981 batch of Indian Police Service, and I was the only woman officer in my batch of about 70 men. And I was not very welcome. I was told that police is not for women and I should go back. But things have changed. Now about 25% of officers, direct recruits, being trained in National Police Academy, Hyderabad, 25% are women. So things have changed.
You've inspired them, Rani.
Absolutely.
I mean, she has inspired them and you've done it on screen. But what did you learn? Well, you said that you went to Meeran Chadha Borwankar to understand a bit more about life as a woman policeman. What did you learn?
I think what was very important was that with every character, it's very important to know the body language. To actually look the part, you have to also, if you have to bring authenticity to a part, the look of the character, I feel 50% does the part. So it was very important for me to meet a woman officer, a lady officer, and understand how does she wear her costume, how does she look in a costume, what is a gait, how does she walk, how does she carry herself. Is it very different from how men are? Or women do it differently. Is it true that a woman has to leave her femininity to be able to, come out there and look strong? Like, what is it? And I think what was very amazing in my research, what I understood is that being a police officer, it's just not about being brawn. You don't have to look tough. There's a lot of things that you have to do with your mind. You have to solve cases. You have to do a lot of things. So, you don't really have to be looking like a tough cop always. You know, there are a lot of things that cops do sitting in a police station as well. You know, you have to, find out about how a case is solved, the mystery behind the case, finding out about a murder. So a lot of things you have to do also with your brain, right? You have to be intelligent. You just can't be the, like how she said, the physical part. It's not all about dishum. It's a lot about using your brains to understand how to solve a case.
But if I was the director of the film and I want Rani Mukerji to show the tough cop look, show this audience. You can stand and do that if you want.
No,
to.
I can't. I'm wearing heels right now.
Okay. Okay. But you want to show the tough cop look. How does Rani Mukerji, within 10 seconds, change her look from the ever-smiling persona to a tough cop in, let's say, Bandra police station? Show it to us.
How can I just show it to you?
Just give us the
this
look.
audience is so wonderful. There's nobody who I want to give tough looks to.
But what's the Rani Mukerji tough look? For a moment. Just for a moment.
I think they all know my tough look.
Rajdeep, I want to intervene.
Yes,
Yeah.
please do.
See, there was one scene in Mardaani where she's standing in a police station and she's 5 feet nothing and huge staff, like very tall and broad policemen are standing and she's in a very business-like manner, ask them to do handle a particular issue, and they look at her, the way the director portrayed it, the way those tall, masculine men belonging to the police department, maybe it was crime branch, look at her and accept her leadership and do what she has told them. That one scene was so powerful, which conveyed that it's not the gender which matters. It's the proficiency in the job and maybe the rank which matters. One scene I found really remarkable.
I think that is what.
Scene करना है.
But that is what
अरे थोड़ा तो इतने आप national award winner हो, इतना तो दिखा दो. You can switch on and off like this, यार. ये क्या हुआ? ये तो tough cop नहीं है, ये सब करना.
tough cop. अरे करना पड़ता है कभी.
अच्छा तो मैं ऐसे
करना पड़ता है कभी.
I can stand here as the gunda who's been hauled up in your police station.
Really?
Yeah, and then you can tell me. I stand up like this. Yes, madam, क्या है?
Hey, बैठ जा.
Really?
चुपचाप बैठ जा इधर.
आप कौन होती है?
बैठ जा इधर.
Madam.
अभी कभी.
Okay. 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 Now you know why Bengali women are dangerous. That happens to me every day at home. But
I'm so glad Adi's not here.
But is that a challenge, Meeran Chadha Borwankar, to get men to accept that the woman officer there maybe is of a different gender, but that doesn't mean that you can run roughshod? Was that one of the early challenges you faced as a police officer, to get the men to fall in line?
Yes, it was a challenge because that time Maharashtra did not have, they hardly had any women officer, and women officer at leadership level. It was a challenge, but once they know that you mean business, you know your job, they accept you. And not only officers, policemen with whom we work, even the criminals understand. And Rajdeep, with no apology to the men sitting here, women officers are more honest, more committed to their job, and therefore they elicit respect not only from their colleagues, but even criminals respect women officers.
Like, there was this thing that we portrayed in Mardaani too, like this thing that you're talking about. In fact, Gopi, the writer, he had a very interesting take about how condescending some police officers are. And especially in certain areas, where women are not really supposed to be in the place of power.
Right.
And how Shivani's character comes and she kind of understands that, she understands the dynamic. So yes, these are things that we've also shown through the Mardaani franchise, where these aspects are very clear.
I want to tell this audience, since you mentioned police officers, after 37 years in journalism, I can say with conviction, women journalists tend to be more courageous, more compassionate, and certainly more honest than men. So there is no doubt about that. So what's true about the police officers is also
I
true
think
about
in
journalists.
general women are better, no?
No, now let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I mean, that's one aspect of it. But in a way, to do a franchise like this, which goes into three successive films, is not easy. You have your various comedy ensembles, the Golmals, and those kind of films, which may go into several editions. For you, is that again a moment for you to believe that you've been recognized as someone who can carry out a women-centric a series?
I think for me, the success of Mardaani is the love that the audience has showered to the film. And I think it has empowered me to do a second and now a third. And it's very important for Mardaani 3 to do well, so it empowers me to do the fourth. So it's very important, and I think I would thank the audience, thank you my audience, for believing in me and for making Mardaani into this successful franchise. It's only because of the love and faith that they had in my franchise that today I'm able to do that, because I can't be part of a successful franchise without the faith and the love of the audience.
How much did you have to work on the physical attributes? Just now, Meeran Chadha Borwankar spoke about that. As an actor, when you're going to do a film like Mardaani, very different to Mrs. Chakravarti versus Norway.
Chatterjee.
Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway, very different to that. How do you have to transform yourself physically? Did you have to go through a rigorous process of making yourself look tougher? Or not necessarily?
No, I think as you rightly put, I think Bengali women are tough. And they look tough any which way. So that aspect is easy for me. But I think physically saying, I think it's important to look like a cop. And I think Meera would understand. I think it's the gait. It's the way you stand. It's the way you walk. It's the way you are with the officers in the police station while you're at work. And I think those things are very, very important. You can't have a slouch. Because I think when you're in front of criminals or when you're in front of your subordinates or your colleagues, you need to have that. I think women in uniform look very, very smart. And I think it's a very huge responsibility on me to be, when I'm wearing the uniform, I think it's very important for me to be able to represent all the women officers of our country. So yes, it is a huge responsibility.
What's the best thing, Meeran Chadha Borwankar, about being a woman cop or a cop in general? And what's the most difficult thing to be a policeman in India today? The best thing and the most difficult thing? Because you've been very outspoken. Every time I have a story about people in authority misusing power and I need a cop, I turn to you. So what's the best thing about being a cop and the most difficult thing about being a cop? Not necessarily a woman cop.
Okay, the best thing first is the service content of a police officer's career is huge. We can help all stratas of society and at a time when they are in distress. So I very often compare the job of a police officer to that of a medical practitioner, a doctor. So citizens turn to us when they are in distress, and the legal authority that we carry with ourselves is all for them to help them. That's the best part of my job, my career as a police officer. The worst of late has been the political interference, not for the good of the citizens or the community, but for their own very personal goals. That I found a very distressing scenario, and it's increasing and not decreasing.
Rani Mukerji, listening to Mr. Borwankar, do you believe you were always destined to be an actor? And if you were not an actor, what would you be? Could you see yourself as a cop? Would you have cleared the IPS exams? What would Rani Mukerji have been if she was not an actor?
I think I'd been a lawyer.
You'd have been a lawyer?
Yeah. I think that's where my grandfather was a lawyer in Jhansi. So in my family, there have been a lot of people who are from that side. So maybe I would have taken up law.
Not a cop. Oh, too
Could
tough?
be, could be. I think now as Shivani Shivaji Roy, I think I'm living a life of a cop.
Ms. Borwankar, you know, the world of acting is, of course, very different from the real world that police women or policemen face. You spoke about political interference. Would you like Rani now to do a film where she takes on this political establishment of the country? Do you believe that the time has come once again to do a few more anti-establishment cinema?
Yeah, and that would be a great service to the nation. You know, we talk about it, but I don't think it's discussed, and the impact of wrong political decisions on community being discussed as deeply and analyzed as they should. So her next Mardaani 4 can be how a police officer, a real-time police officer, faces some political orders which are definitely against the good of the society. If she does that and if she brings it to the focus, she will be doing a great service to the nation.
In this whole conversation, I just love the fact that we've manifested Mardaani 4.
No, that we have. But, you know, I want to give you an idea.
Yeah. Please.
You know, it's been a long time since Adi's directed a
Yes.
film. How about getting him to direct a film?
No,
Come on.
no,
Come
no,
on.
no.
The time has come for you to tell him, come out of your
See,
gilded-
just to like give
His
give
gilded
a very
cage
no
and
no.
direct.
Let me just say, I think all women in the audience will understand. See, as wives, we always have the upper hand, and I always have the upper hand. If he ever has to direct me, he'll have the upper hand. I'll never want that.
Ah, I see. So that's never
I won't like that. As a Bengali woman,
Na.
na,
Hobe na.
kokhono na,
Hobe na.
kokhono na, no, never. Kabhi nahi.
You're saying never say, but you can never say
Of
never.
course, you can never say never, but see, as an actor, we are always supposed to listen to the captain of the ship. But I would like to believe that I'm the captain of the ship in mine and Adi's life. So I'd always like to be it like that.
Few days from now, Durga Puja.
Yes.
I know you celebrated
Yes.
pretty out there. You're more visible during that period. Usually I see photographs of you celebrating Durga Puja.
Yes.
Is that right through this interview, we've seen your Bengali identity in a way come through, and look at the irony of it, that a film where you play a Bengali housewife gets you the national award.
Yes.
So is that Bengali identity important to you? Is
Absolutely.
that something you treasure? Would you do a Bengali film, for
Of
example,
course,
next?
of course,
Would
I
you
would
like
love
do-
to. I would love to do, and I've always said this in my career, that for me, it's never about which film I'm doing, whether it's from which state, or I think all the films are Indian films. Whether it's a Bengali film, it's a Telugu film, or an Assamese film, or a Gujarati film, or a Marathi film, or a Hindi film, we all are part of the Indian film industry. So I feel if there's a great story that I relate with, and if I really feel pulled towards that story and that character, I would 100% do it.
So as we conclude, is there that one role that you still would like to play? Or is there one actor that you see, past or present, who you see and say, wow? Who's that wow actor that you've had that you would look as a role model? And is there a role that you would like to play in the future?
So I think there are many, many characters that are there, which, you know, which obviously on a platform like this, I can't be talking so much because we have a little time. But I would say that every film that comes to me, and when a director comes to me with a character, I think for me that is magic, because I don't know what they're bringing to me. And I feel that is very exciting for me. So when somebody comes to me, like I would never think that somebody would come with me with a part like Devika's part in Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway. When I actually heard the story, I thought Nikhil was joking, because I really didn't think that immigrants, Indian immigrants would face something like that in a foreign country. I was taken aback and I actually thought he was joking. Till the time he actually sent me the news articles and the TV links to actually tell me that this is the real story and this is what has really happened with the lady. And I was in disbelief. So I think for me, these are things that when somebody brings across a new story, a new character, that excites me a lot more.
Okay, so maybe since you are almost ruling out Aditya doing a directorial venture with you, maybe we could just get Kuch Kuch Hota Hai Part 2 done. You, Shah Rukh, Kajol, come together once again on screen, create magic for us. And maybe that's something not so unreasonable, right?
Not at all, not at all. I think let's just manifest it.
20 साल बाद कुछ कुछ होता है Part 2.
20 नहीं.
कितने हो गए?
28 साल बाद.
28 साल हो गए?
हो गए.
My God, that's a long time.
Let's not say it aloud.
Let's not say it aloud. People will then ask, yeah, but we thought Rani was only 30.
Of course I am.
Okay.
Not one day more.
Okay. Meeran Chadha Borwankar, you, as I said, have been an inspiration for many to the kind of tough cop that you've been.
And for me personally to play this character.
Wonderful. And Rani Mukerji, for all that you've achieved and for the way you've spoken here today with a sense of complete openness, all too rare, dare I say, and candor in cinema today. Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you get many more national awards and recognition for your acting prowess. And keep
Making India proud.
keep making India proud, and you're wise enough to stay off social media. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Please give a big hand to Rani
Thank you
Mukerji
so much for
and
being here
Meeran
tonight.
Chadha
Thank you.
Borwankar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, India Today, for inviting me for this conclave. Thank you so much.
I don't think anybody's seen Rajdeep be scolded like that ever. I think that's going to stay. But just to compensate that, I'm very upset that Rajdeep has not brought up one of the most iconic things that Rani Mukerji did. Kya bolti tu? So can we just have Rajdeep and Rani do that once to make
Poor
up,
Rajdeep is
for
blushing.
their dart?
Poor Rajdeep. How
To
can I
make up
him
for
do
their
this?
dart.
I have 2 left feet.
Okay,
No, you have
okay,
to
let me
say
just
it,
make
actually.
up. Let me
Yeah,
just make
yeah,
up.
yeah.
तुम पास आए, यूं मुस्कुराए, तुमने न जाने क्या सपने दिखाए, अब तो मेरा दिल जागे न सोता है, क्या करूँ हाय. And just do this. कुछ कुछ होता है.
Look, I just turned 60 2 months ago. So I realized my limitations in life.
You live longer now, Rajdeep, after
I
this.
am not Shah Rukh Khan. There's only one and only Shah Rukh Khan. There's only one and only Rani Mukerji. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, for trying to get me to dance, give her an even bigger hand.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you Rajdeep for always being so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.